So you found that awesome barn find of a car you've always wanted, that rare car. It says in the ad, ran when parked, just needs a fuel pump. That's it, right? Just a fuel pump. Let's find out today how those are so misleading. Let's get started. This is Eurasian Bob's 1992 Citroën XM. And he understands it's going to be quite a bit to get this going. This is no surprise for him. He wants to get this thing right, so whoever purchases this thing will have a good running Citroën XM. But it was found not running. We've gone through the entire fuel system, and we'll show you what we've done, only to open the door to a whole new slew of problems.
You opened Pandora's box?
We have, in fact, opened Pandora's box on this. We've got Danielson diving into this one. Junior Mint did all the work for the fuel system. He did a great job. We actually got that working. But something is wrong with all this wiring, all this you see in front of us, that's keeping it from starting still. So let's take a quick look around this, kind of a recap, and we're going to show you what we went through with the fuel system to get it working, and how from there we only open the door to a whole different problem. Before we get started, I wanted to do a reminder, we still have two cars for sale. This is the poor Peugeot you just saw in a video that was butchered by another shop. The customer actually has it up for sale. You can make an offer on it. Contact Crazy D in the office. There's a link below to the previous video we did on this if you want the story on it. And I do have the Citroën DS over there for sale. It just needs a few little tinkerings here and there, but the suspension, everything works on it. Again, contact Crazy D in the office for the details on that. And a final reminder that Mrs. Wizard's Part Works auctions end tomorrow, December 4th. So make sure to get in there and place your bid if you're interested in those really sweet projects that she had. Now back to the XM. Here's the front of this XM to kind of a recap for those who didn't watch the previous video on this. Overseas, these are not super duper rare, but here in the United States, it is extremely rare. It's like hen's teeth, the old saying. This one's in good shape, and at some point it was running. The suspension does work, but we can't get it to the part where it's running. And we're trying to figure out why. You see down this side, it's in good shape as well, but behind door number 1, is where we started with this entire thing. It was supposedly a fuel pump, and hopefully we could get it going. Luckily it's under the passenger seat. You can get to everything. It has a weird ribbon cable with the fuel pump connector, but there's no issues there. All that works. Remove the fuel pump, cleaned out everything inside. It had bad gas in it, got it all cleaned out. Brand new fuel pump, everything back together, just to turn the key on and find a fountain of fuel spraying in the engine bay. I'll show you where that was. So no, this is not an Italian car. This is not spaghetti, even though it does look spaghetti-ish. This is actually a French car. So these two fuel lines here, they go back and around the firewall and down below. It was all cracked and spraying gas everywhere. So we went through and replaced those lines, only to find out that around the fuel tank area, now there's a geyser of fuel. I said, let's put this thing up in the air, Junior Mint, pull the tank down, and let's do all the lines, because it's apparent all the lines on this thing are shot. But this is how it goes whenever you get a barn find. You can be guaranteed it's never just the one little fuse or a fuel pump or it needs a new battery that the seller's telling you. It's always going to be a domino effect of pulling money out of your wallet every 15 days. More money, more money. It's just, you have to expect that because it's been sitting for so long. Here's all the old fuel lines were removed, and they're just dry rotted and cracked, and they're just not able to be used anymore. So let's get this thing up in the air and show you what we did under the car. So here's our fuel tank. We're going to start from the rear and work our way forward this time. We had Junior Mint remove the fuel tank because, as you can see up in here, you can see the word China. There's fuel lines all up there that were spraying gas everywhere. They run all on top of the fuel tank and come down over here and meet at the steel lines. The steel lines go all the way forward to an area where we've already put new hose up to the engine we just showed you. The steel lines are fine. There's no issues with those. Steer lines rarely ever give an issue unless they've been cut or damaged, or rust. Rust can ruin steel brake lines, steel fuel lines, but there's no rust or anything going on this car, so that wasn't an issue. So now we're able to turn on the fuel pump, we can hear it build pressure, and we can hear the fuel pressure regulator doing its job with no leaks. So we got all of that part of the fuel system working, and so I was like, well, are the injectors working? That's the last step of the fuel system. We did back probe the injectors. They fire off like they're supposed to. I had Junior Mint actually remove this rail. There's just 3 fuel injectors here, and kind of set it up in the air, and we just cranked it a tiny bit. We had 3 little cups that I could spray into. They weren't doing anything. They were clogged. So Junior Mint removed all of them, and what we do is we get a 12-volt battery, put a little bit of injector cleaner in with shop air and get them to start working, and we got them spraying a nice fine spray again. They're working good. Put it all back together. It sprays gas like it's supposed to. So we got everything back together. Crank, 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 crank. Still no start. The entire fuel system is operational. Only to find out now we're opening the door to something in the ignition system. So you see, guys, how this can pile up so fast. This is about the time the customer, we call them and say, we got your fuel system working. Now we found problem number 2. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I only budgeted for a few fuel items. You're talking like this is about to get really expensive. And it's like, are you going to pay for this or not? I've actually had customers say, stop. That's all the money I have. I'm done. And they actually sell the thing on Facebook Marketplace or dump it and take a loss. They should have never bought it in the first place. Luckily, that's not the case with Euroasian Bob. Just like you guys out there, he has a love for these older, rare cars. And basically, it's whatever it takes. Let's get this solved. Let's get it taken care of so we have a good running car. I feel confident with him and then Tyler, maybe a handful of a few other people, that when they bring a car like this, I can do my job and not fight over prices. So now we have, like I said, a functioning fuel system that needs 3 things to run: fuel, air, and spark. We got the air, we have tons of air. Now we have a fuel system that's working. We have no spark. So let's talk about that. The first thing we tried here is this Bosch control unit.
Well, Wizard, don't say curse words on our channel.
What, Bosch?
Yes.
Sorry. But the old module was melted. We've also found with the wiring that goes to the coil, it looks like a mouse chewed on it, and there's a little bit of melting going on there. Let me move this testing lead out of the way. We have a known good coil. We just had one in a box. I've never installed it. So we've tried 2 different coils. Still no luck. Got identical ignition module here. Part numbers match up and everything. After those 2 things, I said, let's stop. Let's find out what is the problem here. Just like I mentioned in the last video, someone had installed a new ignition control module without thermal paste, and it just was a meltdown. This one, we put the thermal paste on, it's happy. It actually will work. But now we have possibly a wiring issue or an ECM issue that we're diving into. And take a look at all these wires. Look at all these wires, guys. This is in the age, or in the era, in the early 90s. It doesn't matter if it's Ford, Chevy, Citroën, Volvo, it doesn't matter. They were terrible with wiring. It's just a spaghetti mess. And look, some of the wire colors are all the same. There's a yellow, gray, green, brown. Yellow, gray, green, brown. Yellow, gray, green, and brown. It can really, really get confusing. Sometimes we have a good customer like Euroasian Bob who sends us the Haynes manual. This has all the information we need with the wiring and everything. We've been troubleshooting and tracing wires, and what we've found so far, we don't have the smoking gun. Hopefully it doesn't smoke. I don't want any more melting. But Something is not triggering the ignition module or the coil to do its thing. If we can get past that point, it's very likely this thing will finally fire up. But we need to find out if there's some shorted wires. We need to do some testing, pull the connectors apart. We need to also check the ECM, make sure voltages and grounds and everything are there. Also check connectors along here, make sure there's no other melting or other issues going on. But when you get to this point, it really drives home what originally happened to this car. A lot of things we've found while working on this car are shown that before even Euro-Asian Bob bought this car, someone's been in here tinkering around. You see all these terrible blue butt connectors here that are just, we really don't like to use those here. I mean, they're working, but we'll redo those and do them nicely once we figure out what's wrong. Somebody's been in here tinkering. So they probably figure out what's wrong, what's really wrong, and they may even know what's wrong with this car, but they're just not showing all their cards because when they sold the vehicle, they wanted to say, oh, it just needs a fuel pump. We hear that so many times. It just needs a battery. We'll get these wires sorted out, and then we're also going to dive in and figure out and get to the bottom of why is it not triggering the coil. And once we get that, this thing will fire up. It will run at that point. Then we'll tidy all this up and make it nice again. We'll do some road tests and things like that and make sure it's ready for sale. I just wanted to do a video for you guys to show you when you get that barn find, especially a 90s car that has electronics, you can go down a rabbit hole that can drain your savings really, really fast. If you want to dive into something like this, you want to take it on, you really need a shop manual or some sort of a diagram showing what you're looking at. Otherwise, you're just guessing. But then, like we're having possible wiring issues here, you have to take a connector off on one end and take the other connector off on the other end from the ECM to whatever module it's going to. Then you can do a continuity test with a multimeter and check if I put one end of the probe to this connector, does it also come through on the other side? Also to check for shorted wires, if both connectors are disconnected on a signal wire, you should not be able to get to ground through that wire. And if you hook one of the probe to that pin and another one to ground and it says continuity, then you got something pinched or a wire is eaten through. We did find some rodent damage. That's what we believe where we see these blue connectors here as well. Someone went through and tried to do some repairs. In our searching, we may find just a simple wire has been cut by a mouse. We can repair it and be back in business, but it could be something's wrong with the ECM, something's wrong with the pins in the connector, it could be corrosion, it could be a wire, could be something with the ignition switch not providing power to the ignition module. We're still tracing those issues. This is a lot of times too when people have a project in their garage, a barn find. They're not doing it for a customer. They're just doing it for their own fun or enjoyment, where they say, I'm throwing in the towel, I'm done. And then you see it back up on Facebook Marketplace again, half torn apart just like you see here. And like, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. I have no idea. My loss is your gain. I paid blah, blah, blah for it. Here, take it, get it off my hands. So now not only do you have the original problem, you also have someone else who's been tinkering around and pulling stuff apart. They could have damaged something while they were checking it out. So definitely wanted to do a video for you guys to show the pitfalls and the risk involved when you see that barn find. I've always wanted this car. I bet it just needs a fuel pump and it'll be up and running again. It rarely ever is just a fuel pump or a battery or a fuse. With the value of these cool old cars, if it is truly something just a simple little fix, wouldn't you think that they would fix that and get more money out of their sale? They know, and now you know, there's more to the story. There's more than meets the eye on it. So anyways, we will find out what's wrong, and then we'll get all this tidied up and have running XM again. We found it, guys. It's all in here. had the wires backwards, whoever messed with it before. So definitely wanted to show you guys what we found. And if you're curious what kind of tools we use to dive into this, a lot of this stuff actually listed in our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. A lot of the tools in the shop that we use are for sale there. If you purchase anything, we get a small cut and we really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's so many more cool videos to come. Thanks for watching.